my name is Aksik, aka Annika. Uh, Welcome to my channel. Super happy to see you here. And today I am doing a viewer requested flip through of this beautiful book called Aventures Fantastiques, which to my knowledge, okay, I'm pretty sure it's correct, is fantastic or magical adventures. The author of the book is Gustave Auguste, and I found it on Lyrica. You can check on Amazon as well. It's quite possible it's available there, but I got it on Lyrica. I can leave you a link to the book. And this is the code. If you need to find it, definitely will find it by that. And it's a huge book. It's 12 by 12 or almost 12 by 12 inches and about 30 to 30 centimeters, 30 by 30 centimeters. The paper is nice and pretty heavy. It's not exactly cardstock, but it's close. It's a very good quality paper. I will, at the end of this flip, also do a quick test of kind of some media, how it will lay down here and how it will withstand watercolor, water-based markers and such, and how it will react to pencils. Okay, so let's get cracking. Here is the artist's Instagram handle, I think it seems. So if you want to, check them out a bit more closely, you can easily do it there. I'm sure, you could get some inspiration from there. The art is absolutely fantastic. Really, really like it. I hope it fits into the shot, like it's like pretty much exact fit, because that's pretty much as high as my camera will go without things getting very distorted. Okay, so I'm pulling it a little bit down, and here we go. The first one is, that's how it's usually laid out. There's a smaller image with already kind of some color in the background on the left hand side. The real manageable images if you feel like doing something, fairly simple and fast. And there's a big 12 by 12 line art on the right hand side. And it is, of course, very beautiful. This one here depicts, I don't know exactly the scene, but it's a kind of a beautiful castle. So there's a witch with an apple, but it's not a Snow White. There seems to be king here and queen. I'm probably missing something that if you know, let me know also. There's kind of some scrolls and maps here on the left hand side. There's a beautiful scene here with distant castle. There's hills, the road is going there. There's a lone knight with his horse, obviously, either getting to its destination or maybe coming home. And you can see there's a tree growing on top of the castle, so that's cool. It's probably some sort of a story that I also don't know. And there's dragons flying in the air, and the sky is very dynamic. It seems to be, that there's wind moving, and to me it seems more of a nighttime scene. So at least, that's how I kind of imagine it in my head. I would probably put something, because there's such big surfaces here, some oil pastels or possibly gouache or, watercolors to kind of help, because pencils on that sort of an image to me are a bit of a pain. On the left hand side, beautiful bow, sword, arrow and shield. And here's a fight with dragon. The dragon is really cool looking. There's a pile of gold, obviously. And there seems to be a dwarf. So it gives me kind of a Lord of the Rings, or no, not Lord of the Rings, possibly the Hobbit vibes. But not really sure in The Hobbit there weren't really any elves. So it might be any story with a dragon, basically. And here you have, you know, somebody's cooking their dinner over the bonfire. And I like the variety of creatures here. There's a little squirrel. That seems to be some sort of a big, huge troll with mushrooms growing out of its shoulders. There's goblins, I think, these. And to me, it looks like they're cooking marshmallows, but I might be wrong. Anyways, it's a wonderful image. I really like it. It's kind of a cozy and kind of a fantasy and, you know, fun at the same time. This seems to be a little kind of a, like fairies or like tiny elves among mushrooms, and there seems to be more elves here, like little elf warrior, and you can see some other elves. There seems to be a dwarf here, and, you know, beautiful forest scene, and there's a little fairy with wings. You know, there's so many details. Although those images are big, there's loads of little details and interesting little tidbits kind of hidden in them to keep you kind of interested and engaged while you're coloring them. I love this one, this beautiful image with coins, which kind of tells me that these two would be the rulers of clearly elves. You know, look at the ears. And this definitely gives me Lothlorien vibes, you know, Lord of the Rings. Although, you know, on the blue, there's also a unicorn here, which not really a thing there, but, you know, mix and match, why not? But the couple, the elf couple, looks gorgeous, and, you know, you can really create a beautiful scene here with that huge ancient tree. Okay, here we seem to be going to ancient Greek mythology. This seems to be a satyr. There's centaurs fighting here. I cannot now think the name. Was the woman that the body, most of her body was the snake, was it Lamia? I might be lying to you, but I think it might be Lamia. If I'm wrong, you know, please don't be very annoyed with me. It's, you know, my hobby, not my profession. Here's Medusa, beautiful Medusa. I love that profile. It's gorgeous. It's a portrait I definitely want to do, and fairly soon. I like Medusa as a character to start with. I think she's a very tragic and kind of misunderstood character, and kind of this, you know, she was awfully wronged, and this female rage theme. Yeah, really like her as a character. And feel sorry for her and for her fate. Here's Kerberos, and you can see Medusa is here also, going to pet Kerberos. Isn't that just so cute? And here's the Moray. Those are the fates. You know, one of them is pulling the thread, twisting the thread, and she is cutting the thread. So those are basically lives of people. And Scandinavians had Norns, and ancient Greeks had Moray. Here's an amphora. There's Cyclops and Minotaur, see, holding the piece of thread to get through the labyrinth, which is not what, you know, Minotaur actually did, but I actually would have preferred that he got out of the labyrinth. Poor thing was trapped there. And this, I think, is Scylla, or Scylla, sorry, Scylla, not Scylla, Scylla, nine-headed serpent. This is Pegasus, I think, the winged horse. I am not 100% sure what is that, but it might be Charybdis, because the boat in the middle, and there's like this twirl, and basically drowning the boats. This, I suspect, is Kraken. Love myself a nice Kraken. And this is a beautiful scene here, really cool. You can see that there should be night. I think it should be kind of like night sky, and there's lightning hitting any moment, you know, are about to hit this rock in the sea. And there's a Viking ship struggling to stay afloat, and there's huge kraken raising the waves. So it's really cool. Not sure what's going on here. There's a crown, seems to be an axe or a hammer. I think it's a hammer more than an axe. And look like some sort of an eagle or hawks. And this fight does not look like it's going to go very well for these two kids, because they literally look like kids, and there's 3 orcs about to attack them. So phew, let's hope it's gonna go well. Some Viking themed stuff again. Actually, I suspect that then might, oh god, you know, the horned helmets, which, you know, Vikings never had. Never mind, we'll live with it. Same story here, the, you know, the Viking helmet, that they, you know, they did not have horned helmets, but yeah, never mind. And Fenrir, chained up, poor pet. Well, they do say that when he breaks the chain, the, you know, the world will end. Well, the Ragnarok will begin, and, you know, the death of gods. But I can kind of understand him. He's been chained up and not really treated nicely. Okay, this seems to be some sort of an ogre. Don't really know exact story. And these things, I genuinely do not know what they are. I apologize. It seems to be Nordic landscape with all the spruces, or, you know, the pines here. And there's a huge bear in the background, which I'm sure means something, but I just don't know. See, matryoshkas, the Russian dolls, kind of a nesting dolls, and kind of a Russian keep, or looks a bit churchy, to be honest. Like, but and there's also a griffin, and the girl petting the griffin. There's Baba Yaga's hut or cottage or whatever you call it on the chicken legs. And here's Baba Yaga, really cool. Has 3 eyes, this one. There's werewolf, a gothic mansion. Beautiful for Halloween, both of them. There's a vampire who looks a bit like did not sleep well. Those bags under his eyes. And, you know, a girl who clearly is enamored with the vampire. Very, very Bella Swan vibes. And I just can't help but laugh at the, you know, big head of garlic here on the right hand side, sorry, left hand side. And Thing, we all know Thing. This kind of a graveyard, obviously at night. There's zombies getting out of the graves. There's, you know, pumpkins, clearly evil pumpkins. And a beautiful page for Halloween. That's the Day of the Dead, kind of a Mexican, I think. Now, this is not a cultural mythology I know very well, but I think that's what it is. Kind of sugar skulls, you know, a lot of colors here, because the Day of the Dead, you know, the Mexican celebration has strong Aztec influences. You know, there's really, you know, strong and vibrant colors, and, you know, sugar skulls and decorations and patterns, and, you know, it should be colorful and happy and fun. This, I think, is Quetzalcoatl. I think it's pronounced. There's the feathered serpent, Aztec god of light and sky and daytime. I am not sure what that is. It might be their god of thunder and rain and lightning, whose name I don't remember now again. I did know it, but I just can't think of it, and it's not really that important. But, you know, both of the deities are really cool. There seems to be an eel with and crab with a chest of treasure. There's a pirate with sirens. Look at that, mermaid. Could do that for mermaid. There's, you know, ship in the background and, you know, pile of gold, obviously burying the treasure here or hiding the treasure. This now we're going to the Asian cultures and myths and tales, which I don't know very well, okay? Many of you would recognize those creatures and demons and gods way better than I would, so I apologize. I do not know who that is, but I know it looks cool. This looks like Phoenix, but I can't really swear to, you know, what it is actually. This looks like, that's some sort of a, you know, I think it's kind of Japanese. Not sure even if it's Japanese or Chinese. That, you know, that sort of a kind of a demon faces seem to be in both cultures, but it seems more Japanese than Chinese. You know, the Eastern kind of a dragons, of course, in the skies, and the guardian lion. It had a name. What was its name? Okay, don't remember. There was something to do with Korea, that they are, you know, came from Korea. I don't remember. They were often in front of buildings, you know, still are in Japan. Obviously, nine-tailed fox. All of us know them very well. Kitsune. One of Japanese demons that I just don't know who it is, or gods, also, you know, not really sure. I've seen that one before in Kirby's book, don't remember its name, but we all know that creature. She seems to be going to a temple. There's a lantern in her hand, so maybe it's kind of dark, and there seems to be some sort of a creature or ghost or demon here in the temple grounds. I think that might be, like, this might be the Monkey King, but I'm not really sure what the other ones, you know, what the other ones are. Sorry about that, but I'm sure you would know. This one, I'm looking at it and I think Ganesha, but usually Ganesha is depicted with human body and elephant head. So this, you know, we're in India, obviously, now. So I don't know these legends as well as I should either, so I won't really guess here. But beautiful images. Here we have the 1001 Nights, Jinn, Aladdin. And we're in Egypt now. I think we only have one image from Egypt. Here we have a Sphinx. And here we have mummy raising from the sarcophagus. And somebody just leaving the tomb and being taken by quite a surprise. And that's it. That's the same image again that was in the beginning of the book somewhere, the scroll and the maps. And the back of the book looks like this. Really love Medusa. And, you know, if that's all you were interested in, that's a good time to kind of switch off. I will quickly try some media here. Let's try with the pencils first. You see, I have a little pencil case here that has some kind of like random sets. Okay, what do I have here that I could take? I could make that. Oh, I have some prismas here. Okay, so let's make that bit of a roof here, maybe purple. This and this, see if we can get them together. With prismas, anything is possible. So let's see. Put them down here. I'm going to get you closer. Okay, I switched off the other light and put on the ring light here because we are here under the, to make sure that you'll be able to see everything. So these are Prismas. I'm using Process Red. I have this little 36 set, and this is just pink. This little set that I occasionally, a 36 set that my relatives brought me from the States, which is just sometimes on my desk on its own, because I do have the full set as well, but I kind of want to use this one up. Like with Prismas, you can pretty much blend anything with anything. Well, not anything with anything, but you are so... It's so easy to blend, but I have to say, they go down so well. This paper has a nice tooth. They go down quickly and richly, but it's not, you know, crazy textured, so you wouldn't be able to get rid of the paper texture if you wanted to. And to be honest, we have this obsession about getting rid of the texture of the paper, and we really shouldn't. Texture of the paper can be very helpful. It can actually make your work more interesting and, you know, help you with depicting some objects. So okay, I'm going to stick that on the top again, just to make sure everything is clean. Am I close enough here? I hope you can see. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say what this one was. It's Parma Violet on the top. Excuse me, that was bad. Okay. Just blending everything out. Hopefully won't waste loads of time. Okay, so let's bring it closer. It looks really nice. It blends beautifully. Of course, any paper, or most papers anyway, are good with Prismacolors. But, you know, I can feel from the tooth of the paper that it would be nice with most pencils. Okay, so let's take something else. Okay, I have these. They're pretty much neo colors, okay, but they are Caran d'Ache Swiss color, aquarelle they're called, and they are essentially neo colors. So I'm doing a scribble, scribble, scribble here. I'm sorry if that sloppiness shocks you, but I don't really feel doing super precise work here. So this is just gray. They don't have names, but there's only 15 colors, so you know, just take gray. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of black here as well, just the bottom, just extra dark here as well. And here as well. And here as well. I'm not being very precise about it. Just throwing down some color. It's a stone. Let's add some warmth, some areas as well, so it wouldn't be just uniformly gray. But that said, let's put some cool bits here as well, so I'm adding a bit of blue in some areas on the top as well, to kind of cool it down. There, that should give me a base piece of kitchen paper. And water brush. Okay, and we'll start from the top. Go the middle, because that's not the darkest bit. Then I'm gonna go to the dark. Keep cleaning my brush, because I want these bits to remain dark. I need to clean up. I've got some crayon here into the background. Doesn't matter, I can easily clean it up. They dissolve here very well. So far the water is doing well. Okay, I would like to take some extra gray. Probably for the top. It feels to me that I got it too blue, but this is kind of a just base layer anyway. I'm not trying to kind of, you know, do it all in one layer. And I'm not even sure if I want to do that image. It's more so that I'm testing how the things will lay down and how they tolerate water. Okay. Okay, and put that a bit to the top, the one that I washed away from here. To tone down that blue a bit. And I'm going to dissolve this bit here, which is the most, you know, a mid-tony one. And I like the fact that I can get those, you know, color variations kind of randomly. And then I'm going into the black, kind of the dark bits here. So I get this effect of weathered stone. You know, technically I could just, you know, leave it. But I do probably like to, you know, I like my images with a bit more depth. Now, and I'm going to get that. Okay, and that's sorted. I'm going to leave that as is. I'm not going to get, it was supposed to be a base and that's what it is. So what else are we going to try? Water-based markers. All right, so let's see, there seems to be trees here at the front. Let's see two ways. Let's just see how the marker itself will go down, and let's see how it's going to dissolve for me. I am going to take these more muted ones, these two kind of more earthy ones, and I'm going to test how it's, you know, will it take. I'm going to put down kind of like rough idea of shading, how it's supposed to be, and slightly lighter one. And will it dissolve? Just add it here as well. All right, and now I'm going to take the water brush again, making sure that it's nice and wet. Okay, the tissue, and let's see what it thinks of me. No, it will not dissolve. I'd say it's going to bleed pretty badly. Yeah, it won't move. It'll stay in place. So that can be fixed, it's no problem. Okay, and let's just see if I just put down a layer of water-based marker, will that on its own go through? And I like to actually, you know, not to go kind of by stripes. I like to give it texture, which actually helps me afterwards in creating an idea that's a foliage that has loads of different little shadows and bits in it. Can you see what I'm doing? This will definitely go now draw those dots, because I'm pretty much, you know, the paper is already wet and I'm adding more water-based marker. And you see what I did? I already kind of created a feel with the texture that this is a tree. And if I go, you know, with the more darker pencils in there, it is going to look even more textured and tree-like. So let's see. Last thing to try, don't want to get that video super long, is let's take, I have a watercolor palette that I need to clean. There's, you know, loads of different colors I've used and mixed. This is actually skin color, huh? Okay, let's take, this is, I think, Venetian Purple by White Knights. Okay, so I'm going to add it to the roofs, and I'm going to see how the water moves here. Oh, it doesn't immediately sink. If you actually work with the proper watercolor, meaning you're now working not with a dye, you're working with pigment suspended in water. That's the difference. If you work with proper watercolor, it moves. It doesn't sink immediately into the paper. You can see here, like, you know, I put something down and I can move it forward. It doesn't just, you know, sink and become a stain in the paper. This is a beautiful color for roofs, actually. Well, that's what I thought. That's why I picked it. But yeah, it really works. I went over the line. Can't see what I'm doing. Alrighty. That is not bad at all. I don't know if it went through or not, but yeah, there's a potential. There's definitely potential. Let's see with something else as well, some other color. I'm going to take this color here into this tower, which is very similar to actually the background color, but and once again you can see it moves. God, I so prefer. It does seem to be being prone to breaking into the dots though, especially with darker colors. You can see those dots. I'm gonna get you closer. And you see, especially in the blue, kind of a bluish gray tower there. Editing Annika here, just to assure you, or reassure you, the dots that I was talking about when you first put down the pigment-based proper watercolor and it broke into dots, those disappear as the paper dries. So you're fine using watercolor here. It looks scary at first, but as it dries, it becomes okay again. It was fine with more opaque medium, water-based medium like the crayons. But with pure watercolor like this, I think it might give you a bit of a grief. And let's see what went through. Of course, the only thing that really went through, let me see if I can get it to you, is that tree, you know, where I put down the water-based marker and tried to dissolve it with the water brush. That went totally through. And I expected it. That pretty much always goes through. The tower where I put down 2 layers of watercolor, which I shouldn't have done. I shouldn't have left it alone. I should have put down 1 layer and then left it there to dry and then added maybe more color. Other than that, I think you can work beautifully with most media here. So thank you for watching. Have a lovely morning or evening or afternoon, whatever the time is in your corner of the world. If you want to see more of my videos, please like and subscribe. It would help me, my channel, hugely. And thank you for watching, and bye-bye.